Hey there, guys. Welcome to today's live stream. There are, I think, a couple of things I do want to discuss first before I get into it. Um, so, I did share with you guys that I have my promotion coming up, or it is on its way in the next few days. Today is pretty much the end of November, so my upcoming promotion is 50% off all my programs, which will last through the whole month of December. So if you go through a consultation or, anywhere during the time of December and you're interested in starting in my program, you will get 50% off depending on what program you choose, no matter what commitment you're doing, whether it be 3, 6, or 12 months. It's 50% off all the programs. All the programs are all access, so you will get access to Evolution Nutrition. You'll get access to Trainerize and all of your tracking through there. So everything will be included, and you'll have that offer available to you through the duration of your program. So your price will stay the same through your program. So I did want to mention that it's going to be 50% off all my programs that I'm offering. If you want to learn more, you can always contact me, message me, email me. I usually have that information all over the place, so you can just contact me if you have any questions about getting started with a training program and sort of working towards your goals. And I likely will have another promotion coming up at the beginning of the year due to New Year's. I haven't decided that one yet, but I will likely have one then. But I really encourage you guys to sort of get started, sort of think about your goals, especially with this new year coming up. So I did want to mention that. I do have my next live stream scheduled for next week at 12. I kind of changed the times. I know the timing has been sort of off. Last week was a little hard because I was sort of under the weather, and I'm slowly recovering, getting back to normal now, and getting back on track. So I'm going to try doing it midday now, just because I usually try to get most of my stuff done in the morning. So I sort of want to do it in around that time frame for Wednesdays. And again, I always upload these videos to YouTube. They'll be on Facebook. They'll be on my Facebook page as well, the group page, everything of that sort. Okay, so I wanted to sort of get all those things out of the way. So for today, we're going to be talking about resistance training progression. Basically, today's live streams, or today's presentation, I should say, is going to be structured somewhat different than the previous ones, because I'm going to be talking more about workout splits a little bit and sort of give you an idea of how a progression is framed within within resistance training programs. But before I do get started on that, I want to discuss sort of a little bit about progression. I talk about progression a lot in a lot of my streams because it is the key component when it comes to exercise. So whether you're a beginner or more advanced at weightlifting, being aware of your progression is important. So I'm going to expand on this a little bit. So when it comes to progression, there is a saying known as progressive adaptations. So basically what progressive adaptations is known as is basically explaining that there are certain stresses that are placed on the body, and through these stresses, the result is in various adaptations. So your body is reacting to these specific stresses, and it's adapting through those specific stresses. So whether your goal is muscular endurance, strength, hypertrophy, or power, or to reduce body fat, improve overall health, then resistance training is likely going to be an important part of your fitness program. It's usually inevitable. If those are your particular goals, it is going to be a key component of your program. So I don't really have a slide for these in particular components, but I want to discuss them before I go further, because like I said, I'm going to be talking a little bit about sort of workout splits today and how to progress through a workout split. So stabilization is one of the main sort of phases that you would start out in a workout program. This is basically to provide optimal dynamic joint support. It's to sort of to learn sort of unstable movements and to be able to sort of stabilize your body in those specific movements. Um, and it's about getting the right muscles to fire, the right amount of force, and being in the proper plane of motion, right time to support the joints in these specific exercises. So stabilization requires a high level of muscular endurance for optimal recruitment. Again, this is like it's about sort of focusing on, you know, being stable when you're doing certain exercises. Sort of whether it be like, you know, a single leg stance would be something. I do a lot of these stability based exercises, especially since I've sort of studied with personal training. And I think I like stability based exercises. Now, I know for somebody they may not like it, but these types of exercises are important because they help to, you know, bring more endurance to, you know, challenge your endurance. Because it's later on down the road when you're lifting heavier weights and you're, you know, sort of doing these more explosive movements, then once you have that stability down pat, then you can use that stability that you've learned from doing, you know, lower intensity stuff to more higher intensity stuff. So, for example, some stabilization some stabilization based exercises that I do. It usually depends. I like doing it's a kettlebell leg squat, a single leg squat, or a dumbbell single leg squat. Those are some that I do that I like doing. And there's different types of, you know, single leg, you know, sort of exercises that you can do. You can do body weight. There's so many different dynamics that you can try when it comes to stabilization. So, again, stabilization is important because it's going to help you, you know, sort of fire the proper muscles and help you to sort of gain a more stable balance with your exercises. Muscular hypertrophy. Before I get to this, I'm going to finish this out. Muscular hypertrophy is the enlargement of skeletal muscle fibers in response to being recruited to develop increased levels of tension. Again, this is sort of talking about the progression. You're going to focus on stabilization based exercise when you start out, and then as you progress, you're going to focus on hypertrophy, strength. Strength is the ability for the neuromuscular system to produce internal tension, specifically in the muscles of the connective tissues. So each of these are basically a progression. Power is the ability of the neuromuscular system to produce the greatest possible force in the shortest possible time. There's a phase of exercises that you would do with power. So let me go back through this before I get into these workout splits. Sort of stayed on stabilization a little bit long, but I did want to explain stabilization because it is the most important thing to keep in mind, especially starting out. And not only starting out, but as you're progressing. So you would start out with the phase of stabilization. You would move to more muscular hypertrophy based exercises, strength based exercises, and then power based exercises. So that's sort of the progression that you're going to go through. Alrighty, so let's go ahead and get into workout splits. Now, the information I'm going to share in these next slides sort of seems a little bit overwhelming, but I wanted to share this with you guys so that you get an idea of how a sort of workout progression works. So this is the first example that I have to give you guys of when I talk about these workout splits, these are all for somebody who's specifically focusing on muscle gain. So if you're particular goal is going to be muscle gain, then this likely is going to be a great beneficial beginner split to start out with. Now, if it's with fat loss, it may not be as optimal. So I do want to put that out there first. So this is a first phase stabilization exercise split that focuses on the chest, shoulders, and triceps. So when you start out this exercise, and with these, there's actually a little bit more. I'm sort of just explaining the main core of the exercise, which is the resistance training. So you would likely have a warm-up, a cool-down, and then a core-based exercise in this program. But I'm trying to simplify it and show you just the resistance portion. So you would do a chest exercise, 2 chest exercises, 2 shoulder, and 1 triceps. So the first chest exercise you would do is a ball dumbbell chest press. You would do that 1 to 3 sets for 12 to 20 reps. You would do a ball dumbbell push-up for 1 to 3 sets, 12 to 20 reps. You go on to the shoulders. You would do a single leg scaption, 1 to 3 sets, 12 to 20 reps. And then you would go into a standing shoulder press, alternate arm, 1 to 3 sets, 12 to 20 reps. Triceps, you would do a single leg cable pushdown, 1 to 3 sets, 12 to 20 reps. So the sets and reps are usually going to stay the same. But this is an example of a beginner phase 1 stabilization workout split for the chest, shoulder, and triceps. I'm going to continue on, and I'm going to give you another example of another phase 1 stabilization workout that goes into the legs, back, and biceps. So this is a separate split, but it's all on the same phase. So with this one, again, your reps and sets are going to stay the same. So with the legs, you would do a single leg squat for 1 to 3 sets, 12 to 20 reps. A single leg Romanian deadlift, 1 to 3 sets, 12 to 20 reps. You would transition into focusing on back. You would do a single leg cable roll, 1 to 3 sets, 12 to 20 reps. And then you would do a ball dumbbell roll, 1 to 3 sets, 12 to 20 reps. That completes the back. And then you would go into bicep focused exercises. You would do a single leg dumbbell curl, 1 to 3 sets, 12 to 20 reps. And a single leg hammer curl, 1 to 3 sets, 12 to 20 reps. So this is an example workout split of a phase 1 stabilization focused legs, back, and biceps. So this is just an example that I want to give you. And again, this is not the full program in itself. You would have to do, a warm-up. You would have to do a cool-down. You would have to sort of put in some core-based exercises to sort of, go through these different transitions, I guess you would say. So again, this is just an example of mainly the resistance portion of a program as far as the workout splits and the progression. So that's all I'm going to show of phase 1. And you can always go back and look at these splits and sort of get an idea of how it's structured. But now what I'm going to do is go into phase 2. And with these phases, you're going to stay in these phases for a certain portion of the time. So if you were to start a program, you would start out with this phase 1 stabilization. Depending on how you're progressing through the program, say if you were, a client of mine, depending on how I see that you're progressing and, these exercises are becoming a little bit more easy, then I'm likely going to move you up to phase 2. And, where your strength is at, if you're getting stronger and you're, at that point to move, then I would move you to the next phase. But again, depending on, where you're at, you're going to stay in this phase for a certain period of time. And that goes for any other phase that you are transitioning through. And that's how I do my clients. My clients go through certain phases. So if they're ready to move on, then they'll go to the next phase. And, if they're improving, then, I would move them, just through the phases. Alright, so here's a phase 2. Chest, shoulders, and triceps split. And this is strength endurance. So, for example, with these, and you're going to notice that the sets and reps are going to change in these phases. That's how the progression works. And let's go ahead and go through these. So again, this is a phase 2 split. So for the chest, you would do an incline bench press, 2 to 4 sets, 8 to 12 reps. A stability ball dumbbell press, 2 to 4 sets, 8 to 12 reps. And then you would transition to focusing on your shoulders. Seated shoulder dumbbell press, 2 to 4 sets, 8 to 12 reps. Single leg shoulder abduction, 2 to 4 sets, 8 to 12 reps. Triceps, you would focus on next. Cable pushdowns, 2 to 4 sets, 8 to 12 reps. And supine ball dumbbell extensions, 2 to 4 sets, 8 to 12 reps. So the sets and reps, of course, have changed somewhat. And you're likely going to see that the reps are a little bit shorter now because depending on the intensity of the exercises, the reps and the sets are going to change. So that's why you see sort of a change in those, in those reps and sets. So I did want to mention that as well. So let's go ahead and move on to the next. Well, we're going to stay in the same phase, but I'm going to go to the next split that I want to explain and talk about. So this is, of course, in the same phase, phase 2, strength endurance based exercises, and this is for the legs, back, and the biceps. So, for example, you're going to do legs, barbell squat, 12 to 4 sets, 8 to 12 reps. A single leg squat, 2 to 4 sets, 8 to 12 reps. You would transition to the back exercises. A machine pull down, 2 to 4 sets, 8 to 12 reps. Single leg cable roll, 2 to 4 sets, 8 to 12 reps. Biceps, you would focus on next. Barbell curls, 2 to 4 sets, 8 to 12 reps. Single leg hammer curls, 2 to 4 sets, 8 to 12 reps. Now, I want to explain a little bit more into detail what sets and reps are. I know you guys may know exactly what that means, but basically sets is the certain. So sets are the, separate. Basically the one set of the exercise you're doing, and then the reps are the repetitions that you're doing through that one specific workout. So you're going to do 2 to 4 of that specific workout with an 8 to 12 repetitions. Now, I sort of wanted to mention that. I know you guys probably know what that means, but I didn't want to sort of expand on that. And again, depending on where you're at, you just sort of want to stay in this, you want to stay in that 2 to 4 sets range and that 8 to 12 reps range if you're in this phase. So I didn't want to sort of mention that so you guys understand. Now, this is the last phase I'm going to discuss. There are more phases, but I'm not going to go so far into detail because I just want, excuse me, I just want to sum up a little bit of, how the splits work, how the progression works. So this is a phase 3 hypertrophy focused split, focusing on chest, shoulders, and triceps. So for this one, you're seeing a lot more exercises and you're seeing, there's a lot more going on screen with this one because you're progressing and you're focusing more on hypertrophy, which is more muscle building. So in this split, you would do a dumbbell chest press, 3 to 5 sets, 6 to 12 reps. Dumbbell incline press, 3 to 5 sets, 6 to 12 reps. Standing cable fly, 3 to 5 sets, 6 to 12 reps. And then you would transition to shoulders. Standing shoulder press, 3 to 5 sets, 6 to 12 reps. Standing dumbbell shrug, 3 to 5 sets, 6 to 12 reps. Standing dumbbell abduction, 3 to 5 sets, 6 to 12 reps. And you would transition to the triceps. Bench tricep extension, 3 to 5 sets, 6 to 12 reps. Triceps machine, 3 to 5 sets, 6 to 12 reps. Cable pushdowns, 3 to 5 sets, 6 to 12 reps. So again, this is transitioning from that strength endurance, and then we're moving on into hypertrophy. So, when you're at this phase, you're likely more intermediate, more advanced. So you're focusing on that muscle building now. You're focusing on, building, upon where you've progressed from. Alrighty, so this is the last split that I'm going to talk about today. And going to share with you guys. So again, this is in the phase 3. It's hypertrophy focused, and it's focusing on the muscles of the legs, the back, and the biceps. So for the legs, you would do a barbell squat, 3 to 5 sets, 6 to 12 reps. Barbell Romanian deadlift, 3 to 5 sets, 6 to 12 reps. Multiplanar step up, 3 to 5 sets, 6 to 12 reps. You transition into the back. You do pull-ups, 3 to 5 sets, 6 to 12 reps. Seated cable roll, 3 to 5 sets, 6 to 12 reps. Machine pull down, 3 to 5 sets, 6 to 12 reps. You would transition to the biceps. You would do a seated bicep curl, alternate arm, 3 to 5 sets, 6 to 12 reps. And then a seated hammer curl, 3 to 5 sets, 6 to 12 reps. So, again, that's another example of a split that focuses on hypertrophy. And I want to reiterate again, this is not the whole workout plan itself. This is just a small portion on what it would be. So, for example, you would have a warm-up phase before you would move on into these resistance exercises. So you're going to warm up first, and you're likely going to do a core-based exercise, and then you're going to transition to resistance training. And then after that resistance training is done, you're going to go into a cool-down phase. So again, this is just a small portion of what a workout program would be if you were to, be one of my clients. I want to mention that again so that you guys are aware of that. And that's really all I have to share with you guys today. Again, I wanted to share a little bit more on how a program progresses, how you sort of move up, and how you get to more advanced sort of based, higher, more intermediate advanced exercises. I wanted to explain sort of what that progression looks like in a sort of a workout plan form, to give you guys sort of more information on how that is structured. So I was excited to talk about this. I like sort of discussing a little bit how the plans work, sort of that progression, seeing that progression. It's really cool to see how that works. And I really wanted to share that with you guys today. So if you have any questions, let me know. I have my email and phone number here on screen. You can always send me a direct message through Facebook as well, through my page, or of course through the group page as well. And this will be uploaded to YouTube. I'll have it here on Facebook as well, on my Facebook page. So thank you guys for watching. I'm glad I could share this information with you guys. And I have a great live stream coming up next week, which I'll talk about performance supplements, talking about protein, creatine, things like that I'm excited to talk about. So that's all I have for you guys today. If you have any questions, please feel free to let me know. And I will see you guys in the next live stream. Thank you.